What's going on, guys? So we are headed off to the well to make a quick repair that I mentioned a little earlier on. What's going on, guys? So it is a very, very cold morning. It's actually 24 degrees outside with a 10-degree wind chill. So yeah, it's very, very cold for South Texas. Very similar to the conditions we had 2 years ago that caused such problems throughout the state. And what I've been trying to do is just make sure that we're in as good a shape as possible to deal with it. Again, it's about 25 degrees outside. We got a 10-degree wind chill, and everything else that's stagnant or sitting still is frozen. So I'm glad to see that this is fine. And I can already tell from here that the pond is still shooting water up. And that's a good thing too. We're keeping the water moving over there, so we shouldn't get any freezing. But I can also see on the deck where it's shiny, which means it is iced over. So I'd have to be really careful walking out there right now, because the wind blows the fountain water when it shoots in the air. It gets it all over things, and then it freezes, and then you got very, very slippery surfaces. See what the trough looks like here. Yeah, there's a layer of ice on the trough. Not complete though, it's still melted a little bit there in the center. Crazy day. And I tried my best to get everything prepped for it. You guys probably saw in the video where I winterized the RV. Okay, the next step is to take this plastic plug off the bottom. It's 15/16 of an inch. And that's where the water drains out. Typically on some RVs you would have a anode rod right there. Quite a bit of water in there. Made sure everything was looking good there. Got as much water out of the tanks as possible. Drained the water out of the toilets. Okay, so we're over here at the pond now. Check that out. Got ice forming on the little lines, or the mooring lines. Yeah, it's pretty cold. Just want to make sure none of the fish in here are dead. Well, let me see. If they're dead, they're probably sunk to the bottom. Hopefully they survived the cold. Hopefully they're in a nice warm spot somewhere in the middle. So when it was about 30 degrees, 40 mile an hour wind, and raining, I was out here trying to get all this stuff winterized and warmed up so it wouldn't freeze, because we had a hard freeze, and in the process I damaged it. So today what I'm doing is essentially repairing this where it broke off right here. Alright, and the way I got to do that is uncouple it there, unthread it right there, and hopefully I can just replace this piece right here. Okay, so I'm out here actually trying to fix the plumbing mishap that took place during the freeze. I was out here, if you don't recall, on the night that it dropped down to like the low mid-20s, and I needed to get all of this out here insulated before it got too cold and the pump froze and cracked, and I'd have a whole world of problems. So what I did was I picked up this foam cooler from my father, got it out here, kind of took measurements, and this is all while it's 40 mile an hour winds. I think it had dropped down about 31 degrees. It was about 18-degree wind chill. It was insane. Raining. I know this isn't probably half of what some of you guys up north get, but I was out here cutting this foam open. I brought these two big thick tire chocks out here, and they're pretty dang heavy. They're solid rubber pretty much, and I was using them to hold down the foam while I was getting it kind of positioned in place. And kind of last minute, I remembered that I had this cat bed with a warming pad in it in the back patio of the other house. So I went and grabbed it because we don't have a cat that's using it right now, and it's outdoor, which is really awesome. and I actually put it inside of here along with some foam insulation. So it warms up really nicely. It probably does a pretty good job of keeping anything from getting too cold. And I could actually feel, once it was plugged in under here, the foam becoming warm after a couple of hours, which was really awesome. So I don't really have any concern that the pump itself froze, which is a really good thing, because the last thing I want to do is have to replace that pump. But what was really cool about all this is that the foam, everything kind of fit perfectly. Now, the very strange thing that occurred, I was just finishing up with this entire project, getting this all wrapped up, and it was working out perfectly. I was real proud of myself. I was about to head in, and I was looking for the other tire chock, because I had both of them, I thought, sitting right here. I saw one of them here, but I couldn't find the other one. And I'm thinking, where in the world did it go? I mean, this thing, they're pretty heavy. I mean, they're probably about 10 pounds each, so they're not lightweight at all. And I just wanted to set them on top here, just in case, you know, the tape peeled away or something and it would try to blow away. That would help prevent that from happening. And I look up, and one of the tire chocks is over there, like at the very edge of this concrete slab. And from here to there, that's about 12 feet. So it was right on the edge over there. And I'm looking at it, walking around this way, and right here, I trip in the darkness, catch myself, but then my foot catches that pipe, breaks it off, and this tank just soaks me from head to toe with water. So basically it comes out in a couple different ways. The pressure tank itself right here depressurizes, and it causes the water coming out from here to fan up, and it literally just soaks me. This whole side of my body's entirely drenched. And walk over here, grab the tire chock, and like I said, it's a pretty good distance for it to just have fallen and rolled. I don't know what was going on, but brought it back here, put it on, and I was done. But you know, there was kind of a weird blessing in disguise here, because in the chaos of trying to get everything winterized around the house and everything else, I was getting this prepped, but I had no intention mentally of draining out the pressure tank. I just didn't even think about it. It didn't register in my mind. I thought maybe I was so caught up doing this that I thought I was done. I'm going to go and I'll be good. And these pressure tanks are like $1,000. So what I didn't want to do, of course, is come back to a cracked pressure tank, because the water freezing inside of that would have most likely burst. And, you know, those subtle little things that happen, you just can't explain why. By breaking this off and essentially breaking off about $5 worth of PVC connections, it saved roughly $1,000 worth of repairs to have to replace this. So, yeah, it's kind of a weird way of it happening. I don't know what you want to call it, but, you know, I was, again, walking over here and just randomly tripped over this thing. It broke off right here, and, you know, it essentially saved my pressure tank, because this had an opportunity to depressurize, get all the water out of it. It actually drained the water out of all the lines here as well, which is good. Shut off the valve here. This had ice in it, but it didn't actually freeze up, which was really nice. And very, very happy that I didn't have to replace this, and all I had to do essentially was put some new pieces here. I'm going to try to find all the right pieces to do a full replacement to this part, but I think this will get me up and running again as soon as I get the coupler I need right in the center right there. But very, very happy that this didn't turn into something that was much more intensive. Glad that this worked out for me as well. So I, you know, was able to keep that pump nice and warm. The other pump over here at the bottom of the well's like 88 feet below ground, so I don't really have to worry about that. None of these pipes froze up on me, which is really nice. Or at least if they did, they didn't crack. I didn't seem to have any issue with them. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting project. I got to run back to Lowe's. I got the wrong little three-way coupler right there that I got to replace, and once I do that, I'll be able to get the well back up and running and be able to use some of this water. Okay, so I ran down to Lowe's, picked up the parts I needed, got it all fixed, hopefully. I got to let it cure for probably about an hour or two, and then I'll come back out here and test it all out, make sure it's all working. But I was able to eliminate a few little connections here that I didn't need anymore, because the way this was originally connected, the pipe kind of shot down here and shot over to a spigot we put on the side of the house over there. We don't need that anymore for now, at least. So I just wanted to get this thing operational again so I could add water to the pond, because that's really what we're using it for right now until it becomes spring and summer and we have to water the grass again. Anyways, guys, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's been a bit of a dramatic event for us, but probably not so much for you guys up north, or, you know, those folks that have been dealing with this crazy, crazy winter weather. And this is just something kind of minor, but it's something that we did out here, and I wanted to just show you guys, you know, how easy it is to resolve. Glad we saved the pressure tank. Only cost us about $5 in terms of PVC components. Really, it was just replacing the T, a couple couplers, and a little stretch of PVC pipe. That was it. Anyways, guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.